And I'm Bob Kirkpatrick. Welcome to Gone Fishing. It's the October long weekend, and we've just finished the first annual Vanity Cup in Nipawin, Saskatchewan. Now, this river is noted for some tremendously big fish.
No kidding. You look at the waveboard around us, there's some unbelievable weights up there. I've never seen anything like it, including probably one of the biggest walleye ever caught at a tournament. What we're going to do is we're going to take you back over the events of the last 3 days, and tournament director Jim Schutt's going to have our camera out there to show you some of the incredible action.
I have tournament director Jim Schutt with me. Now, Jim, 14 months ago we were sitting in your office and this was just a dream. Pre-fish is over, tournament's tomorrow. What do you think's going to happen?
Well, it's been quite a year putting this together, but I think what's going to happen is the weather looks like it's going to cooperate, and bite is going to be on big time. This river can produce big weight, and we're expecting that in this tournament.
Well, I know it can too. And TJ and I would sure like to thank you for taking over our job. Jim's going to guest host the show for us, and we can concentrate our efforts on fishing the tournament. So thank you.
And good luck to you.
Thank you very much, Jim.
While the Vanity Cup is one of North America's newest walleye tournaments, it already boasts the largest first prize in Canada. Anglers fish for over $130,000 in cash and prizes, with the winner taking home $40,000 in cash. But it's not only the promise of great riches that attracts anglers from all over North America to Nipawin, Saskatchewan. This area is also home to one of the most prolific trophy walleye fisheries in the world. Tobin Lake, especially the section below the Francois Finley Dam, is home to an incredible fall run of monster walleye. 10-pounders are an everyday occurrence, and fish in excess of 14 pounds are not uncommon. Equally as impressive as the fishing, however, is the quality of the anglers. Imagine fishing alongside such legendary heroes as Mike McClellan, walleye tournament fishing's top money winner; Steve Fellogy, 1993 PWT champion; Darrell Christensen, quite possibly the best river fisherman in the business; Rick Spruik and Lori Taylor, the 1994 Golden Walleye Classic champions; and Greg Munch, Canada's top walleye tournament money winner. The Vanity Cup is undoubtedly destined to become North America's premier walleye tournament.
I just want to try and paint you a picture here of the body of water that the Vanity's being held in. About 30 miles upstream in the Saskatchewan River is where the North and the Saskatchewan River join together to make a mighty river. And behind me here is the Francois Finley Dam, which is just outside of Nipawin. Now we have a body of water 40 miles downstream that is held in by the E.B. Campbell Dam. So we have a 40-mile reservoir with some flow in it. And what they did here was flood a forest. They never cleaned it out when they made this lake, the Monster Tobin Lake in this portion. And breeding habitat for fish that is second to none. At this point in the tournament, we're only about 10 o'clock into the first day here. And there's 9s and 10s and 12s. The biggest fish so far has been 13.5. And that's in the first 2 hours. Gives you an idea of what it is that we're fishing here in the body of water that we have.
It's day one here at the Vanity Cup in Nipawin, Saskatchewan, and I'm fishing with my regular tournament partner, Russ Brotherton. And we, in pre-fish, there's one right now, Russ. In pre-fish, we found this spot, and Russ pulled an 11 out of it the other day. And we kind of got out of here. We knew there was some good fish, but we got here this morning, and we just couldn't believe what we saw in the sonar. It was just absolutely full of big fish. It's fall time here, and Saskatchewan River is noted for just huge, huge fish in the fall. And they're in here, but they're not as aggressive as they usually are for this time of year. So what we're fishing is live bait rigs, and just using a leech for bait, no other attractor or anything like that. And we're just absolutely crawling them along. There's no current at all today. And the fish are stacked in here. They're not actively feeding. But if you offer something in front of their face long enough that looks natural enough, they're eating it. We've got a 10-pounder and an 8-pounder in the well, and we've got 3 nice slot fish. Now in this tournament, it's as well as the provincial regulation, you're only allowed to keep 1 fish each over 22 inches. So we have our 2 over 22, and we have 3 under. Now we've thrown back 6 fish over 22 inches today. We've thrown back several 6-pounders and 7-pounders. We're having a really good day out here. I think we have the pattern figured. We found this spot, like I said, in pre-fish. It was going really good early in the morning, and most guys were having trouble finding an early morning bite. We found this spot, so our plan was to come here, catch a couple fish early, and then go hunting for fish. But for some reason, the fish seem to have stayed on here all day. We talked to other guys who went upstream today, where the fishing has been really good in the afternoons, but nobody hardly caught anything this morning up there. So if things do slow down here, we're going to move. I think that's been a key in this tournament for the people who figured out what times and where the fish are biting. Those are the people who are going to do really good.
Well, we started out a little slow this morning. We made obviously the wrong decision. We ran upstream. We had a spot that was holding pretty good fish throughout the week. Not a lot of them, but there was a good fish in there every time we went. And we worked it for 2.5 hours this morning, or that general area, never got any out of there at all. Came down here and found out the bite was on. There was lots of guys with 5 in the well. Kind of a depressing start, but we picked things up. We've got 4 in the well now, almost 20 pounds, and my tournament partner, Corey Yeomans from Swift Current, has been fishing with me all year, and we've had a terrific year. We managed to pull off a win at Sass Landing, and we captured Angler of the Year and Team of the Year in the Sask Walleye Trail, so we've had a great year. We hope we can finish it off with another win here. We're looking forward to it anyway.
Well, it's been a pretty good day. We don't quite have the job done yet, but we were culling at 9 o'clock this morning and made a little culling mistake and threw back a 20-incher when we had a 22 and an 1/8 in the deal there. But so we had a little pressure on us. We had to make up for a mistake. Now we've got one that's 21 and 7/8 in there that we're kind of worried about. But we've had a pretty good day. It could be a lot worse. We got one about 7, one maybe about 6 for the 2 big ones.
Right on. Now that's
Too big or too small?
Now that's a tournament when you can throw fish like that back. There's a real nice fish that was just caught, team number 106. 8.5 pounds, terrific.
We were first flight out at 7:15, and I would say safely we were starting to head in at 9:45. So it was pretty fast and furious morning. We could have probably stayed out there to better a 10-pound fish, but a 10-pound fish is once in a lifetime, once in a while. But up here, it could be an everyday occurrence.
What'd you weigh in?
34 pounds for the first day. It's not too bad.
Here we've got the team of Gary Debian, local favorite, guide. Nobody knows the river like him, and his partner and good buddy Jim Dick. That young Dave Heath is all done. That's what we hear. We hear that. 34 pounds. That one guy says, well, how do you beat that? This was a bigger fish. This was a bigger fish. God, we still got half the day to do it. I know.
Looks like a good fish, Corey.
Read him. I promised you 12 or more.
Well, you filled your promise earlier this week. I caught the 2 biggest fish I've ever caught this week in pre-fish, 2 12-pounders, or over 12. That's another nice fish. Wow! We can use that. Let's get him in the well.
That's a shit falling off. Oh. We'll use that one. All right.
Ha! Good.
Now this fish, now this fish swallowed the hook pretty good. So I'm just going to bite it off and leave that hook in there. And I quickly weigh him. $6.9. Now that's going to replace our other fish over 22 inches. Get him in the well and get this other one out right away. Now that's a treat when you can put fish like this back. And they're good and healthy. Let's get at her. I got a retie here, okay? You got to keep a bait in the water all the time. We've got extra rods rigged. We got lucky earlier. I caught a fish on the rig. Again, had to cut the hook off. Threw my jig out, stuck it in the rod holder, and bang, just right away. Got another one. We had 3 on, just bang, bang, bang. So you can turn on that quick, and it just seems to shut down for an hour, half an hour. You can turn on just as quick. Well, we upgraded a pound there, Corey. That helps. Got to catch TJ.
Well, things have been going really good today. We've caught a ton of fish and some really nice ones. We just let about a 7.5 pounder go here because we have 2 bigger ones in the well. We got some nice slot fish. So I think we're sitting pretty good for first day. We're definitely in the hunt. There's some good weights in at the weigh-in scale I've heard already. But as far as first day goes, we're really happy. As long as you're in there after that first day, you know, it makes it a lot easier to go out the second day and get in there. There's some huge fish in this system. I mean, it's nothing to catch a 16 and even an 18-pound walleye in here. It's possible. Your hopes are always up. It's just that dream fish. I think we've been doing things a little bit differently today, and it seems we're catching a few more fish than some of the guys. All our presentations, we've been moving downstream. Fish are really used to sitting facing with their heads into the current, and even though there isn't much current today, those fish are still used to facing that way, and you always want your bait coming down into them. And it seems the guys who are going upstream aren't getting half the bites we are, so we make a drift, and we're fishing about 500 yards here, that's all. So we're going downstream 500 yards, and we motor back up with the big motor, do the drift down. Every drift we've been catching 4 or 5 fish. I think we've probably rolled 15 fish over 22 inches today. So, like I say, we're real happy. We'll see what happens at the weigh-in, though.
Well, it's been a little while since we talked to you. We've got about a 7-mile run back. We have to leave in 20 minutes. We've got our 5th fish. We've culled up a few of the smaller ones. We've got a unique problem here, something that's kind of nice to have. We're catching too many big fish. So the slot fish we have, we could upgrade a little bit up to 22 inches or just under 22 inches now. We've got a couple that are a little on the small side, and we're still looking for the great big one. We've got a 7.5, 6.5, and some decent slot fish. So, I don't know, things seem to have changed throughout the last week. Like, it's been real cold here, frost every morning, and the fishing's been slow. Every day somebody's catching good fish, but not a lot. Today, everybody's catching lots of fish. That makes for a real interesting tournament. As you can see, this is a pretty popular spot. There's lots of boats here, and there seems to be 4 or 5 major areas that are getting worked over real hard. Fish are moving in from the lake, and everybody's getting lots of fish. But we're still looking for that big one, and maybe we'll get them yet. We've got another 20 minutes to go, and we'll see you at the weigh-in.
Oh, what a day out there, Bob. That was incredible. Fishing had been really tough here in pre-fish, and a lot of the big-name anglers didn't even catch fish a couple of days of pre-fish. We were watching the Weather Channel this morning and saw the barometer rising, and I said to Russ, you know, I think today is going to be the day when the fish go. They really haven't had a rising barometer. There's been a cold front kind of sitting over here, and when that barometer rises, fish will often feed, and today they went absolutely crazy. There was so many fish being caught. We were fishing in the pack of about 15 or 20 boats, and there was always 1 or 2 nets out. Russ and I had a great day out there. We weighed 28.05 pounds, which puts us in the top 10. I think we're about 9th place, and that's pretty good. The leaders are sitting with 36 pounds right now, so I mean they've got a big lead, but we're not out of it by any means.
Well, we didn't have quite as good a day. As I mentioned earlier, Corey and I went up the river to near one of the bridges where we'd caught some good fish in practice, and the bite up there depended on the current. And the current here changes all the time with the power station. It's on demand, so whenever there's a need for power, they open the gates and there's a little bit of current. Usually comes around 8 o'clock in the morning, and we've been counting on that. Today it didn't come. We waited there for 2.5 hours, no fish. Bad start, decided to move back down, got in a couple of the other areas where there was a lot of fishermen fishing, a lot of fish caught, and we started to get some good action in there, but it took us all day. Now we ended up with 22.25 pounds. We're maybe in the middle of the pack. We're not out of it completely. It'll take almost a miracle to win, but we can still get in the money. As TJ mentioned, the fishing is turned on, and I think it's going to be a better day yet tomorrow. Fishing here in Nipawin is just fantastic.
As the final boats are launched and the last trucks are being parked, the tension begins to heighten. Each team figuring that they have the secret location that'll produce enough walleye to take home the $40,000 first prize. As the flag drops and the high-powered boats head down the river, Day 2 of the 1994 Vanity Cup is underway.
Yesterday was unheard of weights. Everybody caught fish. Everybody caught big fish. A 5-fish tournament. Our first weight is 36 pounds. We have a mess of them that got nearly 30 and 26, 27. There's 6 teams over 30 pounds. Yesterday we caught 432 fish and released them all live. Never killed a fish yesterday. 1,900 pounds. Average weight 4.67 pounds. Everybody's happy. Everybody's happy, and everybody's looking for that big weight again today. But things may have changed.
Fishing the same spot we were yesterday, and the fish have really slowed down. In fact, they've really turned off. There's a lot more boat pressure here. Yesterday there was only about 10 or 15 boats in here, and I'll bet there's 40, 50 boats in here today. So that's definitely had some effect on the fish, but the fishing in general is slower. We've only got 3 fish right now. They're all under 22 inches. We've got some nice fish that way, so we still need our 2 big fish. But there's 5 hours left in this day yet, and anything can happen, and I'm sure we're going to catch them. But it's amazing how things can change in a day. We're going to get out of here right away. I think this pressure is really hurting these fish. We're going to go look for some spots that we found in pre-fish that had a little less pressure, and hopefully we can get our big fish out of there.
Well, Day 2 is proving to see lots of action, just as we guessed it would. Been lots of fish caught. We started up earlier this morning on the first drift. There was 50 or 60 boats in there. We thought we'd make one run through the pack and see what happened. There's fish coming out all over. Unfortunately, not too many into this boat. We stuck it out. It's kind of hard to leave when you see lots of fish coming. So we moved down here. We picked up one really nice slot fish and our 2 big fish. Just got one about 10 pounds a few minutes ago and got another 6 in the well. Talked to a lot of guys. Lots of fish coming out. Looks like it's going to be an excellent, some excellent weights coming in today. Heard of a 14, saw several 10s, talked to some guys that are culling 10-pounders already, so it looks like it's going to be just great.
Well, the big ones have managed to elude us so far today. We've got our 5 fish, and we've got some really nice slot fish. Those are those fish under 22 inches. We've got 3 of them that are over 21 and a half and under 22. So we're just still looking for that big fish. Things have really slowed down today. I've talked to some of the other anglers that were fishing a little further upriver, and they had a really good day early. Sounds like there was a lot of big fish caught. We watched one caught here just a few minutes ago that had to be close to 14 pounds, if not bigger. Just a monster fish. The fish are in here. We're going to have to just keep fishing hard for them.
Well, we've got an hour and 20 minutes before we have to be back in. Now, since I saw you last, we upgraded one of our big fish. We've got an 11.5 pounder and a 9.5 in the well, but we're still short 1 slot fish. And we've got 1 small one. We moved down here. We've been catching good fish here all week, and hopefully we can pick up that other slot that we're missing and upgrade some. Now, we just talked to Brian Dagdella, and he said they've been pulling terrific slots out here. They've got one over 5 pounds that's going to make the slot limit, and they figure their 3 best slots are 12 pounds. So we're hoping we can pick up on 1 or 2 of those, and I think we'll come in with a real good weight. We've got approximately 25 pounds now with 1 fish short and 1 small slot fish. So if we can pull things off in the next hour and 20 minutes, I think we've still got a shot at getting in a pretty decent position.
Who will win this first annual Vanity Cup and take home the $40,000 first prize? Will it be Bob or TJ? Stay tuned and find out after this message.
pounds. TJ Schwanke, Russ Brotherton was 48.25 pounds. Bob and Corey, Bob Kirkpatrick and Corey Young. Compliments Nipawin Chrysler Dodge. We will have you a replica made of that. You get to keep that. You get to share this. Everybody happy? Let's get a picture taken.
Ron Lehman, Craig Munch, you guys did one heck of a job. Ron, biggest payouts in tournaments, I guess, in North America. How do you feel?
To sum up how I feel, there are no words for it. Just an incredible feeling to win this amount of money and to have this much fun at the same time and to come to an incredible fishery like this. It's just absolutely unbelievable. And the money on top of it, well, it's more than anybody could hope for.
Now that it's all over, what was the secret?
We went to small 3/8 ounce sinkers, mini sinkers, long snells, running number 6, owner hooks, small as you could get away with for big fish, and the biggest leeches you could get, and we doubled up on leeches, running 2 leeches, one behind the other, on the plain snell, or stay with the current, ride the current. Pick your spots very carefully. These fish seem to hold in certain areas, very tight. Presentation here was very critical.
That's true. I know we found that too, and we talked a lot about that earlier in the week about how it was going to be a slow presentation, and those fish were there. You just had to get them to bite.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a lot of good fish here, and this is a great place for people to come and get big fish. I just hope it stays that way, and people respect the fishery, and we'll be here next year.
You're coming back too, Ron, I imagine?
Well, Greg and I figured it out now. We already have our entry fees paid for the next 20 years, so yeah, we'll probably be back.
All right, congratulations, Ron.
Thank you so much.
Congratulations, Greg. You gracious winners tonight. Well, Bob, this has got to be one of the best tournaments I think I've ever fished. Fishing was absolutely incredible here, and the weights will sure attest to that. The other great thing here was the camaraderie amongst the anglers. There were some teams who didn't do quite so well yesterday, and some of the top anglers took time out to show them the techniques they were using to weigh their top weights. That's incredible. When you're fishing for $40,000 to do that, I don't think you'd see that in any other sport. And we both made the money. That was a real bonus.
It sure was, TJ. Now, it takes a lot of work and a lot of support to run a tournament like this, and the town of Nipawin has been just terrific. They get behind both the tournaments that are run here, and we'd sure like to thank them for all their efforts, and a special thanks to Jim Shute and the Kingfisher Inn for all the help they've been. Until next time, we're gone fishing.
Cast and crew of Gone Fishing with Bob and TJ stayed at the Kingfisher Inn.